Josh Hennick here along with Hunter Brody filling in for Mike Yell here on Sports Bash at 97.3 ESPN. So if you know if I'm hosting a show and Pete Thompson's coming on, this is like the official Pete Thompson music bros. This is like my go-to for the PT. Well, guess who?
I love it.
Pete Thompson joins us for a Happy Hour Friday. Happy Hour Friday, the PT brought to you by oddstrader.com. To win at sports betting, you need the right live information. The best website to get it is at oddstrader.com. Your personal sports betting command center, oddstrader.com. As promised, joining us now is the PT, Pete Thompson. Happy Hour Friday. Pete, happy day after Thanksgiving.
To you too, Josh. To you too, bro. See, I mean, that intro always gets me fired up, and it wants me to go like, Josh shines. People forget. Roads wines. But nobody says, yeah, I don't know, something like that. I mean, it's the Who, man. Forget you're fighting. No Mike Gill, we're not fighting. It's all kumbaya today, right? Just the boys hosting. What? How long does this shift go till, too, by the way? Did I see something like you're on till 9 o'clock tonight or something? What's going on?
We are on until 7.
Okay.
I was waiting
7.
for Josh to step in there. He's the host of the show. I'm just driving in the passenger seat.
Pull back the curtain for a second. So
I did take the phone away from my ear to see if I somehow got disconnected to try to hit the hide.
Well,
I was like,
it's
did
funny
my
you
Roger
mentioned the
Daltrey
phone.
impression derail the radio?
It's funny you mentioned the phone because the time we have you now was the second time I called Pete, for those who don't know. So literally I'm giving Pete another call while the show opens coming on. So I'm trying to get Pete on the phone, put the music up, put Rhodes' mic on, turn my mic on, put my headset back on, bring the PT back up.
Yes, it's all so easy, Josh, for Broads and I when we're on the other side of the glass, just waving our hands, acting like a clown. You know, it's a little tougher when you're actually, trying to pilot the space shuttle. Yes, we understand. Yes.
Pete, am I a clown? Do I amuse you? Do I make you laugh?
Well, yes, absolutely.
Yep, I feel the same way. But PT, how about this? We all watch Thanksgiving football, right? What was your takeaway? We'll start with the Washington game because it means more to the Eagles. Your takeaway from that dumpster fire of a football game from the Dallas Cowboys?
I mean, that game was hard to watch. At one point somewhere, I think in the middle of the third quarter, I looked around at my family and my girlfriend was on her phone. Her son was on his phone. I was on my phone. I mean, when an NFL football game becomes like background noise and you're not really watching the game, then why the hell do you have it on? So I said, hey, let's watch something else. And then all of a sudden it was like sacrilegious. Like, oh, what do you mean? It's Thanksgiving. We're going to watch football. And I'm thinking, well, nobody's watching the GD game anyway. Let's put something on that we're actually interested in other than our phones. What did I think of it? Look, I'll use my dad's words. My dad's 82, or maybe he's going to be 83, I guess. And he said, anytime the Cowboys lose, that's a good thing. Okay, that's how he felt about it. I just thought, the way the NFC East is right now, I don't know who you were rooting for there. Who were you rooting for? I mean, now the takeaway is that the Washington football team looks like it's going to win the division.
Which goes back to something that I remember we have all talked about weeks ago. Remember after the Washington beat the Eagles, the question was, is Washington the Eagles' most dangerous threat? And now, after Thanksgiving, it's come to fruition that it's come full circle that, Washington is now the obstacle for the Eagles, just like they were in Week 1.
I mean, Washington doesn't do everything right. Obviously, no team in this division does. But what they do right is they pressure the quarterback and they force mistakes and they have a good defensive line and they get good pressure. And when you sit there and look at the Eagles' offensive line, plus the news that came out today about Lane Johnson and what a dumpster fire the Eagles' offensive line is, not just Lane Johnson, Jason Peters too. That whole news then sits there and says, okay, you've got a team that's only getting better on their defensive line and their pass rush, and a team that is continually trying to find ways to plug the leaks. This doesn't look good.
Yeah, how do you feel about the switching around at the offensive line? So I think we've been calling it for a little bit of time now to move Mailata back to left tackle because he could possibly be your left tackle of the future. He has more of a longer window than Jason Peters does, so why is he playing that position? But with Lane Johnson being out, that concerns me because I would feel more comfortable about Jason Peters finally playing at right guard if he was in between Kelsey and Johnson. But now you're throwing in Matt Pryor probably there, and I mean, that could get ugly.
Very much so. And keep in mind, Kelsey's a warrior. He went back out there when he couldn't even buckle his helmet back up, and they'll throw some duct tape on it and put some crazy glue in it or do whatever they do to get him back out there. And he wants to play. He's going to play. But so how do I feel? Well, if Kelsey's your center and you don't have Lane Johnson out there, do I feel comfortable? No, I don't feel that comfortable. But what's your other option? I mean, like JP, look, JP's options were, dude, you either move to right guard or we're going to cut you, Now, they would never say that because they can't cut him because the owner still loves him and certain people in the organization still love him. But I'm sorry, he had a cuttable performance. He had a get off our roster, get off our team kind of performance in his last game. So this is really the only choice they had to make. The fact that they're making it now is what drives the fan base crazy. We could all see that during the game. Why are you just realizing this now?
Well, that gets back to something that Pederson said this week. He reiterated, Pete, that he doesn't pay attention to the media. He doesn't pay attention to the social media. He only knows things that when the press people tell him. So, like, Brett Strosacker, the PR guy, tells him something or things like that. Is there something to say with the fact that maybe Doug's a little too isolated from the rest of the world, that he literally only gets information fed to him by certain people and that he is completely out of touch?
I don't buy that. Coaches say that all the time. They say, Andy used to pull that crap with us. We'd be in the room, and, one time, that's the infamous story where he said, Temple tough, baby, when I tried to get Andy Reid to admit that they kept their playoff hopes alive with a game. And I knew he wasn't going to say it, so I reworded the question and said, listen, you may not watch the standings, you may not pay attention to that stuff, but your players do. With that in mind, what was their reaction there? I'm trying to have Andy Reid tell us, what was it like the minute you walked in the locker room and had won a game that kept your playoff hopes alive? And he gave me a BS Andy Reid answer. I mean, it went down in sports bash lore because he said Temple tough, baby. But that's Doug's same mentality. He's cut from the same cloth. He isn't going to tell the journos, the members of the journalism company, he isn't going to tell us anything. But that said, when he does tell us stuff, he tends to be a little bit closed-minded, stubborn, sometimes almost combative. He dismisses quite Wentz. Of course, Wentz is our quarterback. Dude, your quarterback sucks. These are fair questions to ask. And when you give the head coach time multiple times to stand up for his quarterback and he doesn't, no wonder we're going to be talking about stuff like that. I mean, it's been a bad season every which way but loose. And I'm sorry, we haven't even mentioned the opponent yet. The team that's coming up, the team that they're playing, I don't see any path to victory. And if you do, please enlighten me.
I'm with you, PT. I think he does pay attention too much, maybe. The one thing he mentioned something about Jason Kelsey, and I feel this is not getting enough talk, I guess, if you will, but he mentioned Jason Kelsey and said that the media and the team tries to get rid of him every single year. And I'm thinking, in what world does the media and the team try and get rid of him every year? If anything, we just speculate, hey, is this going to be his final year based off of the way that he approaches each offseason, questioning if he has another year in him. So I thought that was very strange and very odd, and it almost plays a role into us being true and being right about what he says in terms of him making no sense. He says that he doesn't pay attention to the media, yet here he is saying the media says this every year. I just can't stand Doug Pederson in general when it comes to the media. The snarkiness, it's all intensifying because it seems he's cracking a bit.
Well, and not for nothing, like in golfing terms, and I know you don't play a lot of golf, Hunter, but in golfing terms, that's rabbit ears. Oh yeah, that guy, he hears everything. I ripped open my glove, and he says that's why he missed the putt, or I stepped on a stick and it broke while he was in his backswing, and now he's all pissed off. That's rabbit ears, right? Doug Pederson and the Eagles have rabbit ears because they're in this fishbowl of a market where, if they blow their nose funny, it's going to get reported on or live tweeted or something like that. And some people can handle it and some people can't. There is no doubt in my mind, okay, that in the fan base's eyes, Jason Kelsey's not only an Eagles Hall of Famer, but they think that, for his mummers get up and for his I don't care attitude, but his warriorness, the fact that he's going to go out there and make his 100th straight Eagles start on Monday night when he can't even buckle his own chin strap up, when he can't even bend his arm, that to me wins the fan base, right? So for Doug to say, well, people have been trying to get rid of this guy for years, not the people that are in Philadelphia. That's the league, man. That's because you can't say you want to be a gold standard franchise. You can't say you want to be like the Yankees of the NFL and then get upset when on Good Morning Football or some other national program they take a shot at Jason Kelsey. That's not your fan base. Well, first of all, why are you even addressing it? Why don't you address the real problems? Like your screen game sucks. Like your receivers you picked might not be the guys that you want. Like, why don't your linebackers blow? Why are you even bringing that up? I mean, I guess if he was asked the question, he has to respond. But, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say, oh, I don't pay attention to that stuff. Somebody has to tell me that. And then, like you said, Broads, admit, like, well, you guys have been trying. You guys, you can't say you guys. Jeff McClain and Paul Domowitch and Les Bowen, Marcus Hayes, Sealski, those guys are not national people. That's the local core group of guys. I don't remember reading from any of those people. Les Bowen wrote an article today about Jason Kelsey, a very complimentary article. I don't think any of those people have been trying to do a hatchet job. So that leads to the distaste for Doug when he tries to say you guys and take shots at the quote-unquote media. Kind of reminds me of somebody else that's on his way out. But, hey, we won't get into politics, so go ahead.
Well, PT, happy hour of the PT here on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN. With all that being said, are you still in on Doug Pederson being the Eagles head coach moving forward?
Yes, I'm not losing my faith in his ability to be the leader of the football team. I'm losing my faith. I've lost my faith in his ability to call plays. I've lost my faith in his ability to have the right help around him. I mean, they have so many cooks in that kitchen right now that nobody knows who's preparing what dish, and the entire meal is failing. So, streamline the operation, get somebody in that Doug will actually pay attention to. I mean, that's the other problem too. When there was a collaborative effort in 2017, things went well. Now it's like this you can have as many voices as you want, but if they're not going to listen to anything, Doug's going to continue to be stubborn. Listen, I really, and you can't fire the players. I get that, but I still have faith in Doug. I still think he's a good coach. I just think he needs to give up the play calling duties to somebody else for a while.
So when you look at this matchup on Sunday, what scares you the most? Because I look at it as Darius Slay versus DK Metcalf. Okay, I could see Metcalf winning some battles. I could see Slay winning some battles. But it's Tyler Lockett. And how are you going to defend Tyler Lockett? That's what scares me the most. What say you?
Well, and don't forget, Chris Carson's going to come back healthy too. I mean, he's had a little extra time to heal as well. So, I mean, both of those things. The guy that's under center who continues to, he's 5-0 against the Eagles in his time. Russell Wilson scares the ever bejesus out of me, right? Lockett, like you said, right? I mean, DK Metcalf. You just go down the line, and then you add a running game to that element. That if Chris Carson could come in and do what Chris Carson does. That's really a big problem for me. That's really a big problem. So, I mean, I have no idea. Like Carlos Dunlap's heating up for them. He's got 3 sacks since he got out there. And now you don't think that the Seattle defensive line are licking their chops right now? Woo-hoo, going to Philly, man. Can't wait. Yeah, we're going to tear those guys up. That's got to be what they're saying in their room right now. Publicly, we respect Philadelphia Eagles. We think Jason Peters is fine all day. Jason Kelsey, they're going to say all the crap that they say in the public, but in private, they're throwing a party because they know that they're going to be able to get pressure. And even if they don't get pressure, minimal pressure, the evidence says that number 11 for the home team is going to make a stupid mistake in some game-changing play. So forget about it. I mean, it's a mess.
All right, Pete, real quick before we let you go, I need you to answer a couple questions. You ready for a little rapid fire?
Fire them off.
So with that being said, who wins Monday night, Eagles or Seahawks?
Seahawks.
Black Friday or Cyber Monday?
Black Friday for me. It was first.
So you get Black Friday. Okay, interesting.
Yep.
Dark meat or light meat?
Light. I like the light. I'll eat the dark if that's all that's left once we've eaten all the other stuff, but I go light first.
Mashed potatoes or sweet potatoes?
Mashed potatoes. I'm not a sweet potato guy, although everybody raves about them.
Gravy or no gravy on the potatoes?
Depends on the gravy. We got our meal catered yesterday, and the people that we had takeout, and it was this real thin, like brine gravy, and I tried it and thought, what the hell is this? I felt like I tasted vinegar. So if it's going to be gravy, make the gravy. You should never be able to see through your turkey gravy. I don't know who was working in the kitchen. Again, won't name the place, but your turkey gravy shouldn't be like a chicken soup broth. You shouldn't be able to see through it, for God's sake. So whoever that is, that was not the gravy I was expecting. Thank God we had some, store brand. Crack open that jar, heat it up, and put that on. I mean, Jesus, what the hell was that stuff? Yeah.
That's Pete Thompson. Happy Hour Friday with the PT here on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN. Hey, bros, I don't know if PT was fired up enough today.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. I gave him one little segue. I opened up the door and boom, he took it for a ride.
Well, just call me like the Kool-Aid man. I'll break down any drywall in a red suit and quench your thirst. No problem.
Well, Pete, you lost a lot of weight, so you don't really fit that category anymore. So.
I just need to get a better running start. I just watched a documentary on Belushi, so I'm in a breakable mood right now.
Pete Thompson will be back for a Tuesday with Thompson coming up on Tuesday on the Sports Bash. Pete, happy Thanksgiving to you again. Thanks for jumping on. Have a great weekend.
You too, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Black Friday. Happy Cyber Monday. We'll see you on Tuesday.